Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, our apologies for any inconvenience caused. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our speaker for today's program. Yang berbahagia Dr. Rusmi Zabidin is a senior lecturer at Communication Department, Faculty of Modern Language and Communication, University Putra Malaysia. Dr. Rusmiza is a communication professional with 15 years of distinguished performance in research and education. Her achievements include big data analytic application for brand management, corporate identity management for halal small and medium enterprises, public relation advocacy for global palm oil crisis, health communication for development among women and children, and organizational policy on sexual exploitation and abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, Dr. Rusmiza was the Committee of Publicity and Promotion for the International Halal Conference for Research and Technical, the Director for the Policy Development for Sexual Exploitation and Abuse Collaboration between UPM and UNICEF. Doctor was also a trainer for Strategic University Branding, Mastering Social Media Analytics, and University for Society. Dr. Rusmiza Bidin holds a bachelor degree in Human Sciences, Psychology from IIUM, Master of Science in Organizational Structure from University Putra Malaysia, and a PhD in Corporate Communication from University Science Malaysia. Dr. holds a certificate in Islamic law from University Malaysia. Dr. Rusmiza was also awarded with Excellent Service Award from University Putra Malaysia for her outstanding work and contribution. It is an honor to have you with us, Doctor, and we are grateful for your consideration to accept our invitation. Now, let us commence with the program and welcome our honorable speaker, Yang Berbahagia Dr. Rusmiza Bidin, to share her insight on the topic. Doctor, the platform is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Crystal clear.
Assalamualaikum. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's good to be back home, I would say, even though that has been it has been so long from 1996. Yeah. I think last year I went back we were the last batch from the Pantai campus, Pantai Baru campus. And I think last year I visited some friends at the IIUM Gombak. Last time we used to refer Gombak as the new campus, but now it is not so new anymore, yeah? Okay. Okay, before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Rusmiza. My expertise is in corporate communication and branding. I hope I can share with you some inputs regarding this topic. Actually, this topic is, when you talk about corporate communication, it is a huge topic. And it encompasses the different stakeholders. So I think even though we are trying to address the multi-generation employees inside in this campus, I think I would still relate with our core business, which is education, kan? And relating it to the other stakeholders in this education business, yeah? Okay, okay, let me share my slide. Please feel free to, I'm not sure how is the way you conduct training in this session, but I would, for me personally, I would prefer you to just ask me if you can just like click the hand button to raise hand to show that you want to ask question anytime during my lecture. Yeah, please feel free to do that. Okay, let me share my slide. Okay, can you see my slide? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so normally before I start my lecture in communication, or here I would refer this as sharing session lah, yeah. We just regard this as sharing session because I'm very sure there are so many of you who have multiple experiences and long experience working in different in organization. And even though your focus, your education background might not be communication, but I'm sure many of you have experienced communication in life. Yeah, actually, when we were in our mother's womb, we have already communicated. If you learn psychology, the feelings, yeah, the emotion of parents, of mom, of a mother will actually be communicated to the fetus. You know. So that is why in medic, if you are pregnant, you are not advised to be emotional because that will lead to other complications such as early labor, you know. So that is communication, you know. So just to explain to you that communication is like, it can be in different ways, okay? So even though you are silent, many people thought that silence is not communication, but actually silence is communication. Because when someone is silent, you can tell that he is angry, or he's still thinking about it, or he is confused, kan? So as long as you got message from, there is an element of exchange of information, itu communication lah. So that is communication, kan? So so please take into consideration that definition of communication. Communication is evolving. You cannot use the same method strategy all the time, but we love to do that. What have been done by our previous officers, we tend to repeat it over and over again, not knowing that the different generation has different way of seeing things. The different generation, it might be better than us in certain things. So itulah what these are some of the things that influence communication that we have to take into consideration. Okay, so again, this topic is huge. Yeah, I will try my best to, being an IIUM undergraduate kan. The way we look at things for me is, I'm not saying that other universities not good, yeah, bukan ya. But what I'm trying to say is that IIUM ni dia ada special way of macam mana nak kata special way of crafting students' education. In a good way pun ada, in a bad way pun ada. Tapi in the end, when you produce graduates, the graduates are different. InsyaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Okay, and kita continue dulu ya. Okay. So how do I do this? Okay, I will start with, before we go into communication, so let us face reality dulu kan. So what is the trends in, so what are the trends in higher education in Malaysia? Okay, I put here a few trends so that we understand we are no longer in the same reality before. Okay, this is 2024. When I look at this statistic in 2022, 72% of Malaysians do not wish to pursue higher education after SPM. So you can imagine what happened in 2025, 2024 now, and in the future, you know. And based on the survey, some of the reasons were low graduate salaries, and further education does not guarantee better job, which is very much true. Okay, like I give my own personal example. My daughter graduated after her diploma. Her starting salary was 2,500. The same amount that my undergraduate student from UPM received after graduation. Nampak tak? Okay, so the salary. So because of that, I suggested her other options than pursuing to degree. We will go into that later. Tapi this is the reality, okay? And she focused from traditional metric. So before that, before this, the measurement metric was that how many students graduated, how many of them got CGPA higher than 3.5, kan? So nowadays the apa ni metric to measure success is no longer there. Okay, it's no longer that. So you can find different metrics, yeah. Okay, so contohnya macam sekarang ni we have micro credential, where this is the example that I advised to my daughter. I told her, instead of you going to further your degree, I kata, why don't you just go for micro credential, where you can find short courses by Microsoft, by blah blah blah. You know, there are many great agency, great institution, big brands that offer micro credential learning. And you know, private companies, they look more on that because they know that what university offer is always, I mean, many universities still offer knowledge that is no longer relevant in current situation. Okay, and then we also have asynchronous learning. This is what we have been told to do. Okay, and then gamification, which I really struggle in trying to understand, because we are the 5 series going to retire very soon, and you have to learn this new thing. This could be very stressful, to learn all these new things, yeah. And then again, how do you measure success? You shouldn't look at the same success measure anymore, yeah. And it's a lifelong learning, kan? So and apart from that, you also have trends, different social trends, yeah. And you will see that, okay, IIUM memang since the very beginning dia ialah diversity, kan? You meet students from the different background. However, get ready to find, because this is no longer youth, after SPM, so you will be able to find more non-traditional students, age no longer between 18 to 24 years old. Okay, especially after COVID-19, 80% of job lost by uneducated employees, so they have to increase their skills, Dia nak reskill, upskill, so they'll be joining university. So if universities are not taking this opportunity, then this is where they will go for micro credential, and therefore we have to alter policy. And knowing IIUM, this is my own perception, based on my experience with IIUM. My perception yang in a good way punya ialah IIUM is a very I would say kita kata in a good way, is a very proud university and consistent in the sense that because we based our everything on Islamic teaching, and we know that that is the best for us, and so we are very proud of it, and we are very consistent. Okay, however, not everything is based on philosophy of learning. There are also elements of business and management, you know, that in a bad way pula, I see sometimes we are quite egoistic in this manner. Okay, we might not want to embrace new things as much as those outside. Okay, so this is my perception, so I would say this as was lah. IIUM was like that from my own perception. So I hope that when it comes to education, yes, we should be proud and be consistent on what we are doing. Tapi in things related to business and stakeholders, we have no choice but to understand their needs before we can communicate with them. Okay, and interest, for example. Okay, so this is on social trends. Kan, ada yang tak setuju ke? Again, this is my perception based on my experience before. Okay, all right. So if you look at this, another trend ialah mental health awareness. Okay, so mental health is really a problem, and we have students in UPM sendiri pun, we have students not only in UPM, in everywhere kan, we have students yang cases like suicide and drop out from universities, ramai during and after COVID-19. So if you look at this ni kan, if you look at this graph, you tengok ni, this is in the US. Depression, semuanya increase depression, anxiety and stress. This was in 2020. Okay, so we are not sure now with the current situation, everything is so competitive, economically, things are not that good, and you have to face difficulty in life, cost of living and whatnot. Okay, so I'm not sure what is the current. I didn't search for the 2024 punya data, but this was what happened in 2020. Okay, and then the number of first-year students with mental health concern ialah 19 million in the US. Okay, so I mean this is like a general indicator. I mean applicable also. Mungkin number dia different, tapi I think the trend is there. Okay. Okay, and then we also have this one. This is, I said, difficult for those who educators kan, lecturers, we are experts in our own field. Tapi we might face difficulties in understanding AI for learning. Tapi again, this is important. You cannot say that I don't care, even though I didn't get increment in salary ke apa ke. University has to communicate to the experts that this is amanah, okay? Because this is the trend now, embracing artificial intelligence for learning. Whether you like it or not, you know that your students are using AI, and you cannot say to them that, oh, please do not use AI, because no matter how you say, they will use AI. So how we as a university manipulate students' usage of AI and use that to produce something better by providing a different guideline. Okay, so whether we like it or not, we have to look at it and we have to understand and maybe be better than them, experience that. Then only we can control. Okay. So that is why you have to, we university in our communication, we have to have clear AI strategy in place. So I am, maybe some students ke siapa-siapa ke nanti, you can ask them to survey what is the percentage of university and in Malaysia that have a clear AI strategy in place? Because based on this 2019 data, ada 41% sahaja. But again, this is from the US university. Kalau dekat Malaysia, I rasa low than 10%, for example, at that year lah. Okay, and again, cost lah remains a major problem, and we have yet to allocate budget, but whether we like it or not, we have to do that, because the benefits of AI is huge. We use AI not only for learning, but we use AI also for management. For example, you want to predict, you want to see performance, even before that happen, we can predict using AI. So we can solve many problems, we can improve many areas with AI. So whether you like it or not, we have to consider that. Okay. And then another trend adalah online learning. Online learning and virtual reality is more prevalent. As I said just now, because we have many interested students who want to upskill, reskill, and online and virtual reality is the key now. Okay, so this is the trend, yeah. And then curriculum, more focus on closing the skill gaps. And we have now focus is government has been spending a lot of effort and money on skills, okay, on skills. So university, we simply should not be so egoistic in relation to our expertise in theory, because what is needed now is not only expertise in theory, but also skills. Theory and application is one thing, but skill is another thing. So this is another trend that we have to inculcate in our curriculum. Okay, all right, and also MOOC, MOOC, okay, massive open online courses. And you look at the number in million, this is in million, see how this has increased in 2019, and we can predict what happened in 2025, yeah? Okay, all right. Okay, this is another trend that I would like to share. This is what happened to countries that do not want to, just disregard technology. Because just now I used the word, you don't have choice, whether you like it or not, you have to be there, or else, since it is everywhere, okay, or else those who are expert in that will manipulate you and your surrounding. For example, this study by Oxford University in 2019, the study was to understand what are the tools, capacities, strategies, and resources employed by global cyber troops, typically government agencies and political parties, to influence public opinion in 70 countries, including Malaysia. Okay, so the finding was that 52 countries out of 70-something use this information and media manipulation to mislead users. Okay, so of course, this finding is especially related to politics. I'm trying to show you the trend now. For example, in the US election a few years back, okay, the result was very much result of election. I couldn't remember which year, yeah. But at that time, they manipulated public opinion and disinformed public. And the country that the strategy was done not only by American but somewhere else, because this is made public. I couldn't reveal which country, but some other people from some other country manipulated US elections and provided contents to disinform people, to manipulate people, so as to ensure that the election result in favor of them. Okay, so that was what happened, and the result was in favor to them. Okay, so you can say that, oh, it's okay, we are not affected, but as long as we here use technology, we have to consider, okay, we have to be one step ahead of the current of what is happening, you know, at least bukan one, if it is not one step ahead, at the same level, so that you know how to protect you and you know how to use that for your development. Okay, so this is one of the trends, yeah. Kalau you tengok ni, troll, 47 countries use state-sponsored trolls, okay, to attack political opponent or activists in 2019. Masa 2018, only 27 countries used that. 2018, just a year after that, from the number rose from 27 to 47 countries. Can you imagine that? How fast people adopt technology for good use and for bad use. So there is no such thing as We are institution that is based on classic blah blah blah, you know. So no, that is not the case. As long as you are here doing your business, even though the business is not for it's not so much money oriented, even though I doubt nowadays, because university keep on asking lecturers to find more money, right? Bring in more money. So even though let's say that, okay, university, we are not money oriented organization. Sure, you are not money oriented organization, but still you have to be ahead because your stakeholders are the users of technology. Okay, the generations too, the generation gap, you must always feel when you talk about communication. So these are the trends that I would like to share. Okay, so I hope by elaborating these trends, I am giving you enough background. You see, background je dah 30 minutes kan, but background is very important. Okay, so because of that, corporate communication is vital. Okay. And I hope you understand that. For those of you who always come across this word corporate communication. But what is corporate communication? Is that communication in organization? Yes, very much true. But what is the definition? What is actually corporate communication? Okay, number one, you have to understand that corporate communication is a management function. Why management? Because we have diverse audiences. Okay, and we have our business operation, our organizational operation is not only in Malaysia, but we involve different levels, different countries, and everywhere. So you have to manage communication, okay, and you have to offer a framework for effective coordination, because you have internal, you have external stakeholders, and you do not want them to receive inconsistent messages. Okay, why the message has to be consistent? Because you want to maintain favorable reputation, and the message has to meet the goals, the organizational vision and mission that you have listed. Or if it is different, then everybody can sense that. Even students, even your employees, even everywhere, they can sense that, oh, this is not like our university, like macam us UPM kan. We are research university. So every internal and external effort is very much geared towards us having infrastructure, sources, knowledge, and everything towards research. So when you are there as research university, you enjoy all the benefits of doing research. Maknanya to do research is easy for you. Bukanlah easy, apa maksud easy in the sense that you have the resources, you have adequate training, they provided you content, they link you with international, local and international content and context and context and context. Okay, so you have everything that you need to do a good research, then okay lah. So confirm that this is a research university. Okay, tapi if you kata this is an international university, but the way you conducting is not international, then people will start thinking, is this really an international university? Kan? So you need to coordinate. That is why you need corporate communication. You need to manage the function, okay, to establish reputation with your different stakeholder groups. Okay, so the function of corporate communication is everywhere, but again, it has to be consistent. Okay, for example, when I for example, this one, corporate communication is everywhere. You look at this in your advertisement, in your design, in your internal communication, in your crisis management, in your media, and everywhere. It has to reflect you. I mean, who you are, your mission and vision. Who you are has to be reflected in everything. Sebab tu corporate communication mean employees lah. So the employees has to coordinate everything. Ni. Okay, coordinate everything. It's not a tactical function much. Macam, oh, you have to follow this, you have to do the same thing. No, it's not tactical much, It is more on management, bukan taktik sahaja. Bukan corporate communication is not following the same communication tactics that has been used for so long over and over again. You have to manage. Manage maksudnya, what's the meaning of management? You have to understand your public. Okay, you have to understand your public, their interests and needs. Because if you don't like them, they don't like you too. If you don't care about them, they don't care about you too. Okay, and they have many choices. The thing is, they have many choices. And if you are not as unique as before, then maknanya you are not the one yang people will always look after lah. Kan? Like macam before this, IIUM is like different from other university kan. So whatever it is, whatever pain that you got, you still stay there and you still proud being there kan. So you have to check balik, you have to do study on your reputation. What is your reputation now? Are you enjoying the same reputation? Okay, if you are no longer enjoying the same reputation, then you have to like work harder in terms of especially in pleasing your stakeholders and your future stakeholders. Okay, right. So okay, this I always show this to everybody. I mean, especially in whenever I give in every introductory class in communication, I always share this. You know why? Because this gives a great difference in understanding communication and understanding psychology and communication. Okay, look at this, this, even though this look, the understanding of this is important in applying communication in personal life as well as in organization. Okay, now look at this, Tengok dekat sini. I numbered this, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay, now, number 1, what is number 1? Number 1 is our senses. Okay, our environment, we have 5 senses. Ada yang ada 6 sense kan? Okay, we have 5 senses. The eyes to see, okay? Ears to hear, nose, okay, to smell something, tongue, hand, okay? So we use our senses to detect, to collect symbols or information from the environment. So when somebody speak, they use what symbol they use? They use language, code. When you saw something, visual symbols. Or when you hear something, you smell something, everything is meaningful. You know, how do you always give meaning to what you collect from this number 1? You bring all this to your number 2. And also when you detect something from the environment pun, you have to be very careful juga. Not everything that you paid attention to, not everything that you collected from the environment are good things. Okay, we thought that we have collected good things, we paid attention to good things, but actually we were tricked by our own perception or by anything in the environment. So dekat sini pun dah ada problem in selecting, and then you bring that to your filter in your brain. When you bring that to your filter, you filter it according to your understanding and to your personal preferences. So when you saw something, for example, when you saw me for the first time, someone will say in their own filter that was shaped by their own experience and background kan, oh, she looks beautiful, one person. Another one, oh, she looks fierce. Yeah. Oh, sombongnya. I don't like the face. For the first time, I don't like here. I don't like her. Okay. So the way you see things in number 2 are not the same. That is shaped by your experience and background. Okay. And then once you create your belief here, you have to understand that your mind and the body is like sponge, you know. So whatever been said, been believed by the mind will be made into reality by the body. How? The mind will discrete chemical substances. We have like when you are excited, when your mind believes that you are excited, it will discrete, give order to the body to discrete adrenaline, kan? And what are other chemical substances? I believe we have millions of chemical substances that deliver order to our body. Ada dopamine, ada serotonin, ada acetylcholine, ada norepinephrine, ada macam-macam. And you know what? When did I learn this? In 1994. I learned this in my psychology class. And I still remember this until now. The chemical substances, I got that from my abnormal psychology lecturer. And I still remember that because that knowledge was so powerful. It gave impact to me. Okay, so it will secret order number 3 to your body. So your body will react accordingly. So that is why when you don't like someone, when the body secret the order to the whole body, no matter how much you try to hide, the face, the non-verbal signs will actually reveal that somehow people can see that you don't like them because you try to hide, but the body believe that they don't like him, so it will be shown, okay, in your expression and everywhere. So if you are afraid, for example, you were being chased by dogs, so the brain believes that it's dangerous, so please muscle, chemical substance to muscle, so that muscle can extract, so that you can run faster, and body and your heart to pump faster and everything, you know, order, because that was to save yourself, kan? So you don't even realize how that happened, but that is how that is God's creation. Okay, so and then because of that, you will give response, you know. So if in terms of communication, when you give meaning to it, and then you will give feedback. Okay, so you give feedback, the same person will do the same. So in multi-generation workers, kan, the key is here, number 2. And how you choose this number 1 from the simile. How do you think about you and the multi-generation workers around you? How do you decide the importance of understanding the multi-generation? How do you decide to like the differences, the diversity around you? How do you decide to choose? Number 1, to be comfortable, to choose and to be comfortable in the in the diverse environment. And how do you choose to define the diverse environment? And believe me, if you are successful in number 1 and number 2, it will be translated into communication and behavior. So this is very important. So if anything that is not good, kan kita selalu kata when everything good is from Allah and everything not good is from ourselves, our own self. It's true. That is based on the way we choose the stimuli around us and the way we interpret the stimuli around us and how our body react to the environment. Okay, so this concept of communication and psychology is very important. So if you in doing so, number 1, in corporate communication, you need to understand your environment. Okay, you need to understand your environment and you need to provide the environment that can match the stakeholders' preference, then only their number 2 will be positive. In corporate communication, when you are dealing with the students, how do you ensure that you speak the same language? Itu layman term je lah. How do you speak the same language with the students? How do you providing stimuli, environment that can give excellent interpretation and then excellent behavior in number 2. Effort. This is an effort here. Okay, boleh Faham Okay. Okay, and because of that, look at this, yeah. Now what we are doing now is stakeholder collaboration. Integrate management approach, focus on building relationship, bridging and creating. So egoistic knowledge approach is no longer applicable. So if we think that we are the management, we are those in top management, we are very busy, you have to understand is blah 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 blah. Yeah, you can do that, but you have to understand that you need those stakeholders. You need to please them. Yeah. Okay. And also in creating awareness, in communicating with them, you cannot just ask them to straight away go to commitment now. You have to go step by step. They don't understand, you give them awareness, and then you move one step forward, understand. After aware, then give them more effort for them to understand through this. And then once they understood, then only they can go involved through this. They can, consult and debate and everything. And then once they have involvement, then only they can commit. Okay, so these are the tactics and strategy that you can use. When you do this, so you can structure your approach, and you can record the progress. So I always recommend this as corporate communication strategy for any organization. So you boleh chart the progress. Charting progress is very important, ya, sangat penting. You don't simply go waste your money, do this one. Lepas tu you demand commitment, and you use allocation, betul tak? When you do program, you use allocation kan? And you want to straight away do this. Question yourself first, how much they are aware of that, how much they understood, and how much they chose to involve, okay? Chose to be involved in that. Lepas tu barulah dia akan give commitment. Okay. And then this one, I always advise those who want to understand communication, be it between generation ke, be it within generation ke, the key is to close the gap between, for example, you are the top management and the employees. So what is the gap between what have been communicated and what have been done by the employees? For example, macam us, RU, why there are not many lecturers doing research, for example? Why? When you see what are the gaps, you will find that not enough resources, not enough data, not enough information, not enough resources, and blah blah blah. So once you found that, maknanya you do audit. When you want to assess the gap, you have to do audit to study kan. You do study to see the gap, because you cannot make assumption in communication. You cannot just use assumption. Unfortunately, that is what been done by many organizations. Mereka thought that because we have experience and we have been here for so long, so we believe that you just do this and blah blah blah. All that come from your mind, that is assumption. Okay, you have to understand that we and the stakeholders, we are not the same, and the generation could be different, and everything is different. Okay, so we cannot make assumption. We have to find what are the gaps by doing audit. Once we find the gap, then only we can close the gap by settling, by correcting all the gaps. Nanti barulah, once you have corrected, then you can correct the gap, close the gap, and you will get your image and reputation. Okay, so semua gaps ni lah between you and students, between top management and students. So we have these gaps that we need to understand. Number one, understand, and we need to close the gap. So ask back to ourselves how much we have understood the gap. Or we just do assumption. Okay? So kita administer antibiotic to understand what happened kan. You cannot just like observe the symptom unless you are an expert kan. Tapi sometimes expert pun sometimes will miss the actual problem kan. You still have to take blood sample, you know. So this is very important. Okay. Kemudian, okay, and I sekejap ya. MC, I ada berapa lama masa? I have how many? Can you let me know how much time do I have?
All right. Okay, doctor. Yeah, you still have half an hour.
Half an hour, yeah. Okay, just nice. Okay. And then because of this background and the nature of communication, so what I am suggesting here is that for the internal as well as for the external, I would always suggest co-creation. Okay, the current environment and the current organization, when you talk about branding, branding involving communication lah, communication and how you present yourself kan, how you establish good relationship, how you be consistent with your stakeholders and everything. So this is what elements of branding kan. So I would always suggest to do co-creation. Okay, so what is co-creation? Actively engaging your stakeholders in the brand development process, allowing them to contribute ideas, feedback, insight that shape the brand's identity and offerings. You have no choice but to bring them together, engage them together, because they are as good as you, as informative as you, and sometimes they even have more. You know, there is no wrong of engaging stakeholders, understanding them, and listening to their suggestions and implementing. Sebab apa? Again, they have choice. Okay? Nanti kena buat study on IIUM reputation. See what is your level. Okay? If you are still the unique and well-liked organization ataupun the one that people always want to go different and everything, then fine lah. You can be like a little bit egoist. Macam, okay, I am the best, so I don't care much about you because we offered you the best. You have to come to us kan. I understand. When you talk about education kan, it's not wrong to be proud of what we have kan. Proud of our knowledge, okay, is what we need. I am always proud of being IIUM graduate, and I am always proud to myself and be grateful for what I learned from IIUM. And I am always proud with the consistency of our knowledge culture. Okay, but when it comes to business, it's different. When it comes to organization, it's different. You have to engage with your public. Okay, engage. And how do you engage? Yeah, how do you engage? Inilah contohnya. You have to engage with your stakeholders macam students to tailor your product kan, because they are the users of your product. Okay, and you have to tailor, but again at the level lah. I mean, I'm not telling you that you change everything to tailor your product. In the consistency aspect, what you have to be consistent, you keep consistent. But other things yang students kata, we are no longer we can get everything. We don't have to attend your class. We can read. I can get even more from outside resources. Nampak tak? So how do you engage them to go to you? Knowing the fact that they don't need you. Itulah dia co-creation. How? You ask them, how can you make your presence and their presence relevant? Itulah dia engagement. Okay? Collaborative workshops to brainstorm idea, leverage technology to allow real-time interaction. These are some aspects to co-create. Bukannya, I'm not sure what is the culture in IIUM lagi, but I do hear stories and experiences, yeah, and I hope, I mean, same stories with other university jugalah, macam the same stories from UPM, UKM, and so on, kan? I just hope that whatever stories that I heard, we can co-create with stakeholders, yeah. Value creation on products marketing supaya they have reasons to go to us. The value creation has to be done by understanding what are the things valued by your stakeholders when it comes to your products and services. Okay, so things that they value, these are what you are going to offer. Okay, again, please draw boundary between what has to be consistent and what can be changed. Okay, engaging with diverse group can lead to broader range of ideas, and when you have systems to allow continuous feedback between you and your peers ke, between you and your stakeholders, internal ke external stakeholders, dia mungkin nampak macam it looks like it's going to give me more trouble, but no, in current situation you need that, so you can adapt and ensure that you are still relevant. Okay, and in the end akan ada enhanced loyalty, increase innovation, improve market fit, stronger brand identity. Why? This is because people, your stakeholders, they feel that they are part of you because you engage, kan? You do not make decision based on your own assumption, based on what you have done before. Susah, it's difficult not to create, it's difficult to create a new culture, not to follow the same rules and procedure and strategy over and over again, tapi to be more open, maknanya in that sense the culture has to change from the boss and the co-workers, dia kena dah jadi lebih it's no longer vertical, but it's more horizontal. So how do you want to change that? If you're not like that, it's difficult. Okay, but believe me, the benefits are this. Some of the benefits are this. Okay, but if you think that you are happy with the power that you have and you do not want to take effort to understand, then you will have a very unhappy stakeholder. And maybe they still work with you because they need money, but they are not happy. When they are not happy, they will not be loyal, they will not be creative, they will not spend more and everything else, you know? So this is important. Okay, and finally, finally, at the end of every communication strategy, this is especially important for those in corporate communication area, okay? Because when you have stakeholders to please or to target. Basically, I like to use the word to please, because corporate communication is all about pleasing your stakeholders so that they can perform. Kan? So, when you do programs, before you start your program, you have to do research. During your program, you have to do research. And after your program, you have to do research. Remember, no assumption. Please do not put higher percentage of your decision itu based on assumption. Please change that culture. For example, which audience that we have to focus, you have to evaluate. Okay, what messages that you need to prioritize. For example, they don't have awareness. Suddenly, you expect them to commit and do something at behavioral level when they don't even have the awareness or understanding. So when you do this kind of study or evaluation, then you are able to understand where to start, what objective. So you have a location, betul. Oh, we have a location. Let's do ceramah, talk. And how do you sure that talk is what they need? For example, the audience might been exposed to so much information pula dah. Too much information. So they want to move forward. I do not want to accept information anymore. I am aware, totally aware, and I have good knowledge about it. So I want to move to the next level. But you keep on giving them basic information. Then you are not you just use your assumption. Okay, so you are not basing your decision on data, on evaluation, on findings. Ini yang tak best ni kan. So we keep on using assumption aja, tak kena lah. So evaluation before you decide what are the issues, what are the benchmarks, what are the audiences, blah, blah, blah. And then you give antibiotics accordingly. Okay? And then barulah bila you nak give any objective dia ialah, because based on the evaluation ataupun audit tadi, then okay, let's go to, now based on that, let's set our objective. So you target terus to the problem, straight to the problem, and then objective. So, and then after you target that, and then you plan and execute. So during the process, for example, if something related to long process, for example, like enhancing AI in your university, so you might want to do another audit or evaluation, the short-term one, the long-term one, to see along the process what have gone wrong, so that you still have time to correct. Kan? So, and then after that, once you have finished, you evaluate lagi. You want to see whether you have fulfilled your objective. So this is a true corporate communication program design. If you are talking about corporate communication, you tak ada evaluation, then I would say that everything is based on assumption. If you are lucky, that antibiotics can save life. If you are not lucky, you have to change antibiotic lagi, change another antibiotic, change. So it require time, require money, require effort. And if you are unlucky, then you cannot solve the problem, the person died. Okay? So ini beza dia between strategic corporate communication, through strategic corporate communication, and communication based on assumption, previous practices, daily routine tak boleh tau. Corporate communication, you cannot do routine, especially when you are working with the multi-generation workforce. Ada different levels, different way. Yes, you go to work every day, we receive salary every day. Betul tak? Whether we do it successfully or not doesn't matter, we still do it. anyway, kan? So why not? Because this is amanah, why not doing it in a good way? In a way that can ensure success, in a way that can bring this institution as the most unique and successful institution that students and other stakeholders are proud of. Okay, so yeah, I think that is all for now, and I hope you can ask questions. I hope I have I mean, again, there are when you talk about corporate communication, I am not because this is not tactical, so I am not in the position to give you tactics on how to to succeed in doing your corporate communication. Rather, I am giving you the philosophy. Ni IIUM punya graduate memang macam ni lah. I'm giving you the philosophy behind corporate communication, so that you can strategize your communication and use all the tactics necessary to upgrade your corporate communication. Okay, so that is all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Doctor, for enlightening us with your words of wisdoms and empowering presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we can safely say the importance of adaptability in institution and cooperation driven by global trends like technology integration, stakeholders engagement, and the need for more transparent and ethical communication practice. Organizations that embrace diversity, technological advancement, and collaborative strategies will be better positioned to navigate future challenges, build stronger reputation, and foster sustainable growth. I would personally say, Doctor, that the time is now for us to change. Kita tak boleh nak kata we are ready, but the time is now. Betul ke, Doctor?
Correct, very much true. I mean, you cannot be 100% ready. We can never be ready. But we took it slowly, but we have the intention to go there.
Yeah. Oh, betul. I would say mungkin setiap proses tu ada baby steps je. Betul ya, Doktor? So, bila lagi kalau bukan sekarang?
Betul, insyaAllah. And of course, if you are interested, I mean, this is just an introduction kan. Maknanya for especially those in the management, top management, middle management, you should be exposed to strategy, kan, detailed strategy, so that you know how to strategize. This is just introduction je, belum strategy lagi tu. Strategy lagi lain pula.
Doctor, are you saying that kita kena ada second session with you?
I mean, it's up to you. You can find other experts pun. What I'm saying is that you need to get the strategy. Tak kisahlah from anybody pun.
Okay. But Doctor, I have to say that your presentation tadi tu widens up our perspective in corporate communications. And with this knowledge laid in front of us pun, Doctor, I believe we have questions from the audience who are eager to know more. Boleh ke, Doctor?
Yes, tafadhal.
Okay, so for the audience, we are now open the floor for any questions. And we believe that Dr. Rosmiza is more than happy to answer any questions. In any case, you may forward your questions in the chat box for us to read. But Doctor, just for your information, we do receive few questions. Tadi Doktor ada kata, Doctor, I mean, your presentation is more on the philosophy part rather than techniques. But the first question we receive is on techniques. Boleh ke? We try lah. Boleh, Doctor?
Okay, boleh try. Boleh, sure. I try to answer.
So, all right. I will go one by one. The first question is, what are the best ways to resolve communication-related challenges between generations?
To resolve communicated ni. Okay, tadi kan I mention tadi the best ways to resolve ialah, remember yang 1, 2, 3, 4 the figure the yang gambar apa ni, orang tu, 2 orang tu. Remember that? So to resolve is to number 1 to start with number 1, iaitu to evaluate, to audit the problems related to the multi-generation? Have you tried to evaluate the problems between multi-generation before? Or were you previously based on assumptions saja? I'm very sure like we don't take things seriously. We thought that doesn't matter. I know how to handle. I know. How sure you know that your knowledge is correct? Okay, how sure are you when you talk about somebody else, when you talk about people from other generation, people different, group different from you, how you are very sure about them? Tak boleh, you can never make assumption. So you have, again, I kata, you want to solve problem, you find the take blood sample, draw blood sample, faham dia punya kuman apa, then only you can suggest antibiotics. The same goes to whatever strategy that we want to do. Understand, yeah? Understand first. Start from there, from understanding. Then after that, based on the result of the evaluation that you did do, then only you state your objective. Your objective must be based on what is the dire needs of the problem. Kalau you just buat assumption, you might not be targeting the real problem, the real stakeholder, the real blah blah blah. Setting objective is not as easy, Setting objective is not as easy as, I think, jom buat ceramah, let's do this, let's do that, I think. No, it's not that easy. Okay, so let's start with that.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
Doctor, you are saying, talking about changes and whatnot, and communication, it takes two to tango lah, kan Doktor? Kalau
Betul.
kita nak short sendiri pun, management nak short sendiri pun, tapi the staff or student or other stakeholders tak take up, tak sambut, tak jadi apa juga. Betul ke Doktor?
Sometimes, inilah dia sometimes you have to understand why they tak sambut. Okay? Is that because they don't like you as the dancer, or they don't like the dancing floor, or they don't like what they don't like that makes them not dancing with you? We just assume that we try our best, but you never do anything. So it's your responsibility, it's our responsibility as top management to understand why they didn't dance together with you. Kenapa dia tak nak tengok dengan you? What is the problem? Kan? And people don't simply reject. Betul tak? In our life, the decision to reject always is based on something unpleasant.
True. I would agree on that. I believe everyone's agree on that. Doctor. Before we move to the next questions, Doctor, you keep on mention on the don't make assumption. There's one person who keep on saying this to me. If who knows lah. That person always said things like this. If you keep on assume, you are making an S out of you and me. Assumption is not good. All right. So Doctor, the next question is, in adapting to change, perhaps Doctor can share some of the multi-generational communication related best practice.
Okay. Best practices ni, we have many. Okay, we have many. Multi-generation. So are you asking me? So is this question related to the internal stakeholders?
Yes.
Internal stakeholders kan. Okay, multi-generation gaps. For example, semua cakap you have to master technology kan. So those yang, for example, when we talk from the perspective of lecturers kan, those young lecturers, they are able to create games, create interesting lecture, apa-apa semua, because they know how to do that kan. Tapi macam the 5 series lecturers macam kita orang ni, the struggle is real. So instead of again understanding. So if you need contohnya macam sekarang, the environment is technology related, and you have to acknowledge that this create mental problem, create tension among employees, because we are not from the same level. So acknowledging, satu. Number 2, addressing the tension, acknowledging addressing, lepas tu when you address that, you buatlah apa yang needed to be done. Contohnya, for the older generation, you do trainings, kan? When you fail to acknowledge, itu je, that has created tension. When you fail to acknowledge, so whatever that you propose after that will not most of the time be taken positively. Why? Because from the very beginning, you have not acknowledged. How do you show your disacknowledgement? For example, using of words and expression that shows that they are not capable or they are not doing what they should be doing. Kan? Sometimes you have to understand that dealing with especially academics ni is difficult because they have reached certain level of expertise in their area, and at the same time they are not competent in other area. So to tell them that they have to work on that, you need to have like a good strategy to tell them that it is okay. Not only the older generation lah. So to close the gaps between the older generation and the younger generation is to find the gaps and to close the gap. If you do not know what are the gaps, you tak boleh pun close the gap. For example, between in among the older generation, the gaps might be technology. Okay, and what are the gap between older generation and younger generation pula? So mungkin younger generation, they have different thinking. Okay, their thinking ialah fast forward, and when they are fast forward, they lack wisdom in certain things. How do you communicate that pula to the younger generation? So ini two example. There are many other way. I tak boleh nak cite everything between the different ni. But what I'm telling you is that understand the differences, acknowledging the differences, and then try to address the differences. Itulah 3 perkara yang paling penting. Tapi kalau you just want to address that without first identifying, without first acknowledging, then dia dah jadi step dia dah terbalik. Okay? Alright.
Alright. Thank you, Doctor. Very detailed, the explanation. Just for your info, Doctor, we received one question in the chat box from Madam Sharizad. Okay. If I may, I read it, Doctor?
Okay.
You mentioned that you have heard some things about IIUM, given that the university has already issued statements to clarify the situation, which relate to certain issues. What are your thoughts on those statements if you happen to go through or read it?
Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. Ada yang apa ni? Of course, yeah. When we talk about stories, kan, nampak tak? From my point of view, when I explain this to you, I am explaining it from a general point of view. Okay, tapi for those who have undergo struggle in clarifying certain issues, you might see you can easily be triggered by this kind of things. Sebab tu I kata communication is interesting in a way that the same thing can give different interpretation by different people. Okay, so okay, macam okay, I'm not sure, yeah. Stories, of course lah, kita dengar, we heard a lot of stories, kan. But again, as someone who have background in communication and psychology, I started to learn long ago not to judge, yeah. Tapi there are many other people and stakeholders who judge, number one. And then you kata university has already issued statements to clarify the situation. Okay, number one, have university evaluate which segments of the society that most been exposed to the issue. Have you understood which stakeholders yang very much affected? Kan? So, okay, kalau kita kata based on my understanding, I have done my best. So how do you evaluate your best tu? Nampak tak? Kalau you have evaluated the issue in detail, for example, okay, I know this group was yang much affected was this group, and this time this blah 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 blah, then you can base your decision on the findings that you found, and then you boleh kata we have covered everything based on the evaluation. Tapi kalau when you heard something and you use your own ways, again, your own ways is different from what is needed. Tak sama Your ways of managing things ialah according to your assumption, we have done this, we have done that. Sebab kita kata previously when I did that, the issue was resolved. But again, every issue is not the same. Every issue is individual and unique. And the same approach that you use for previous issue might not be working with the other issue. Your best tu ialah your best based on what you used to do before, or your best tu adalah you have your checklist of the current situation. This one apa ni tick, ini pun tick. Okay, I have apa ni target. I have include all this in my approaches. Then itu you boleh nampak your structured approach. Sebab tu I kata corporate communication, be very careful on your definition of my best, and I have done everything. Macam tu, kan? Okay, so yang tu. Itu my response lah ya. I'm not specifically referring to any story or any issue. It can be any issue lah. Who knows lah. Siapa tahu lah. Siapa tak tahu tak lah kan. Okay, yeah, that is my response in pertaining to that question.
Okay. Alright, Doctor, just nak inform lah. Madam Shahrazad is the Director from the Office of Communication, Advocacy and Promotion for Change, UIA.
Okay, so good to know that.
Alright, Doctor, you were saying that, okay, sorry, Doctor, we are playing, perhaps one more questions. We are playing with sometimes public sentiments, kan? In answering to kita panggil apa, whatever issues lah yang ada, either internal or external, the public sentiment. So but at the end of the day, we cannot fill up everyone's cup. Kita tak boleh nak fulfill everyone's punya needs and interests. So where do we draw the line?
Okay, sebab tu you kena ada knowledge on stakeholder management and communication. You have to decide. Okay, I have the slide, but I did not include because slide on stakeholder pula lain pula, ada banyak kan, nanti that will take hours lah. Macam when I teach corporate communication, for example, for I have I specify one class, one lecture for one stakeholder. Nampak tak? Maknanya one stakeholder you will have detailed understanding of that. Tapi basically on stakeholders ni, number one is that you have to understand, you have to decide which stakeholder that you want to prioritize. You have to, dia ada different theories and different methodology on how you do, kita panggil ni sebagai stakeholder, dia ada metrics on stakeholder evaluation. So which one is which one yang you need to prioritize, which messages and everything else. Okay, so stakeholder relation ni ada one easy way to predict your stakeholder. I would suggest you, number one, to predict your stakeholder in advance, so that before that happen, you dah boleh give a prescribed antibiotic. So how do you do that? AI lah, artificial intelligence, IoT. Okay, with IoT you can predict. Contohnya, because you have, for example, students ni they have their means of communication. So you have the medium. Okay, you have the medium, chat lah, apa benda semua. You can generate their responses too. You can generate the data into a prediction based on their responses, like macam based on my research kan, on palm oil hari tu, we collected all the responses from the public through few medium. Lepas tu, we predicted that the next year issue that will be played by the European Union will be on human resource. We predicted to last year, and the next year it really happened. Okay, but however, the government did not use that information. Sepatutnya, when we predicted, so the government can be ready ahead. So before they play on the issue of human resource, on pekerja, bawah umur, underage workers and so on, because we have got that information a year before. So you can use that to predict. Tapi the government did not use that. Malangnya, they did not use that, and then the other part were successfully manipulate this issue to frame our palm oil industry negatively. So macam tu juga dengan university. You have the money, for example, tak mahal pun. You have the medium and the contents tu. Contents tu macam oil tau. Very expensive. If it is not used in a manner that can give you opportunities, then it's such a waste lah. You have your students' feedback dalam banyak-banyak medium yang you ada. Use that, mine the data and predict so that you can control them. You can understand them better. Bukannya kena pergi buat survey ke apa pun. You can just use AI je. IoT, AI to handle your stakeholders. Things are much easier nowadays. Okay?
On that, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to inform that kita terima lagi satu soalan. But in the meantime, Doctor, there is one question we received earlier tadi from Madam Nurul Ashikin. Madam Nurul Ashikin is the drafter, I would say, of IIUM lah, from legal office. Okay, if I may, Doctor, I read the question. Doctor, when addressing communication challenges in a multi-generational workforce, do all issues and concerns from various stakeholders need to be tackled simultaneously, or is it more effective to prioritize and address them in phases?
Yang second tu, prioritize, okay? But not, itulah, I should have, if I know that you are interested in stakeholder punya ni, I should have bring the the chart tu. At least chart, showing the chart tu pun is enough. Maknanya, you have to prioritize. There are different ways to prioritize pula. Ada different, ada different, kita kata, strategy to prioritize. Sometimes kita ada powerful public. Okay, sometimes kita ada in terms of power, dia power, tapi in terms of legal, dia tak, not so much. Ada pula public ni pula, dia not so much power, tapi dia legal. Dari segi dia punya legal background, legal responsibility kita pada dia tu higher. Ada pula public ni dia legitimate, okay? Tapi dia less power. So ada different strategy on how you choose your stakeholders. Okay, so choosing stakeholders, prioritizing your stakeholder is very important because you have to be very rational, because you have limited time, you have limited amount of money, and you are you have focus, kan, and you have you have limitation. So you definitely cannot focus to each and every one of your stakeholders. The strategy is always putting priority. And how to put priority? Not based on assumption juga. You have to understand, you have to go back to the organizational objective, understand the current situation, and blah, blah, blah. You have to make some analysis and evaluation, and then you have to bring that to meeting, and then you will decide which stakeholders to be given priority in terms of effort, in terms of budget, and in terms of semualah, time and so on. Tapi my key is when you give priority, don't base on assumption. Tu je. Okay, smart deciding priority tu must be based on some kind of measurement. Okay, so that is my answer.
All right. Okay, we take note, Doctor.
Kejap, before that, you have to understand that kita biasa dengar, we always heard about ROI kan, return of investment kan. So Corporate Communication Office should learn on how to calculate your SROI, Social Return of Investment, so that after every programs that you conduct, after you spend university money on communication programs, you can give them the SROI calculation, telling them that, hey, look, I have spent 10,000 of your money. I'm giving you back 50,000 because this is the SROI calculation. So when you have that, you feel proud and you feel objective and you know what you are doing. So that will give you motivation. So calculating as SROI is good and important. Okay, yeah. Next question.
All right. Thank you, Doctor, for the answer earlier. Perhaps one more questions from the floor. Is there any?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, very good. IIUM. SROI.
Yes, we believe Madam Sharizat team has been doing her best in dealing with these matters. Yeah.
Betul. So that, not many organisation yang buat SROI calculation, yeah. When you do SROI calculation, maknanya you know that you are on the right track lah. Okay.
All right. Alhamdulillah. So insofar we received no questions. Perhaps from the committee, any questions? All right. Then insofar, Doctor, just before we close the session, Doctor, perhaps any final message to the audience?
Final message. Okay, ni apa ni? Would, in your view, doctor can address certain concern first, helping to solve other issue? Should I take this question or final?
I believe okay.
Okay, we still have time.
Yes, please, Doctor. Yes.
Okay. Still have time, yeah? Okay, address certain concern first, create a ripple effect, and then helping to solve other issues more efficiently. Betul. As I said earlier lah, yeah, you have to be strategic when you want to choose issue, in your choice of issues, in your choice of stakeholders, yeah. So itu yang kita kata, when you choose something to be urgent, you are hoping that something yang you solve first can create like a bigger effect to other stakeholders. Okay, so when you choose something, for example, macam you ada 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, semuanya pun urgent. But if you choose to settle number 4 first, number 4 tu can somehow settle few of the concern in number 1, number 2, and number 3. Then prioritize number 4. Something like that. Okay, so that is one strategy, one way on how you solve your concern. Tapi jangan pula when you have that solved efficiently, you tend to forget other issue. Then nanti it defeat the purpose of addressing your stakeholders' interest. And you know that we have different departments, kan? In corporate communication, we have different departments, so the concentration should be different. Maknanya in corporate communication department, to address employees and to address students, of course we are not in the same department, kan? So ada one department to address students, ada one department to address employees. Lepas tu pula untuk employees pula ada one department to address the interest of the professional punya employees, kan? Ada yang middle level, ada yang blah blah blah. So we have the different departments to address the interest of each and everyone. So I hope with that, kalau if everybody play their role efficiently, then I think stakeholders should be satisfied with the university, kan? I mean, it takes, macam you kata lah, it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 to tango. Semua orang pun kena ada learn dia punya, ada play their part, kan? Then together we will be strong.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. We are hoping IIUM is getting stronger, and of course UPM as well.
Yes, inshallah.
All right. Okay. Doctor, we appreciate, I'm sorry, the audience lah, we appreciate your questions and hopefully it was answered fittingly. And Doctor, your presentation was not only riveting, but it is also inspire us to walk the talk. Okay, providing new context and details about the corporate communication, strategies for multi-generational workforce. Hence, thank you so much, Doctor.
Alhamdulillah.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we end our session, we would like to again remind everyone to register your attendance via I attend link for the CTD point. And also before we end our program, we would like to invite our honorable speaker, Doctor, and audience in our Zoom platform for a screenshot session.
Maybe everybody can turn on their camera.
Baru rosak.
Because we have 230 participants.
One more.
Okay, ready? Good done. Okay.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So with that, I have completed my task today. I pass back the floor to the organizer. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Madam MC. Thank you to our director, Cik Kamarin Ali, for the welcome remarks. Thank you, Dr. Rosmiza. We are so happy that you were able to share your insights for our session today. We are incredibly grateful for the time you spent with us, and your words is a great source of encouragement, and we are thankful for your presence. As reminded by my Madam MC, to our participants, we will open our attendance. I attend until end of the session. And then please do complete our evaluation form to validate your attendance. We will open the evaluation form for 24 hours. And then if you would like to find more about our post-event content, and since today we have unexpected error from the YouTube, so we will post our session today as a post-event session. You can view through the YouTube, and you can refer to our YouTube channel, IIUM MSD Competency Development. So our program, ladies and gentlemen, has come to its end. We wish to thank everyone for their participation today. On behalf of the organizer, we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused throughout the program. So let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this program shall support IIUM betterment, inshallah. With that, we bid goodbye for now till we meet again. Before we adjourn, let's recite tasbih, kafarah, and suratul as. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.